Ladies and gentlemen, the White House is once again hit with new coronavirus cases. And most of these cases are cropping up around election time. So this came out November 7th, 2020, Washington Post. White House hit with fresh outbreak of coronavirus cases. The White House has been hit with a fresh wave of coronavirus infections. An administration official said Saturday, with Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and five other Trump aides having received positive test results in the period around Election Day. Meadows, who tested positive Wednesday, told others not to disclose his condition, but his diagnosis became public late Friday. The official confirmed that a broader outbreak threatens to create a new crisis in the West Wing, just as Meadows and other top aides are trying to help President Donald Trump navigate a bitter loss at the polls to Democratic President elect Joe Biden. All right, so this official wants to remain anonymous because technically they're saying they were not authorized to discuss the matter publicly, declined to name the affected aides, and provided information about their condition. Okay, in addition to the six White House staffers, a Trump campaign official said the campaign advisor, Nick Traynor, has also tested positive. The outbreak comes as coronavirus cases are spiking across the nation. Saturday brought more than 134,000 new cases, and that was in a 24-hour period. And see, this is going to happen because millions turned out to vote. And, as if you were reading the articles over the past few days, you would have seen poll workers around the country testing positive. So if the poll workers are testing positive, the voters would also be testing positive at this stage of the game. Remember, you had early voting. So you should see a big jump this week and next week. And then it's going to be an even bigger spike because you got the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, and people are going to be gathering, for that day. And then you have also Black Friday coming. So it's going to be crowds of people gathering a lot over the next coming weeks. All right, so they're saying that it's a new record for the fourth day for new deaths, and hospitalizations are also on the rise. Biden have won the presidency by relentlessly attacking Trump's decision to downplay the severity of the virus and discard basic advice from public health experts for combating a pandemic that has so far killed 237,000 Americans. Meadows, for instance, has rarely worn a mask in public, has ridiculed Democratic governors for locking down bars, restaurants, and other businesses, and has fought with federal science advisors about the administration's response to the pandemic. The influence of health professionals such as Anthony Fauci, the top infectious disease specialist, has steadily warned under Meadows' management, and Meadows has supported Trump's strategy of pressing and reopening schools and sending people back to work, arguing last month on CNN, State of the Union, that we are not going to control the pandemic. The majority of Americans have disapproved of the president's handling of the coronavirus almost from the start. Election day neared with an outbreak raging. Some older voters, politically moderate women, and other constituencies blame Trump for doing too little, too blunt. Um, okay, declared the winner on Saturday. Biden has promised that the president will listen to the public health experts and try to bring the pandemic under control. Trump has not conceded the election, however, and his campaign issued a statement Saturday accusing Biden of falsely posing as a victor. So, yeah, Trump is still on this thing about not conceding and he really won the election. So he's still on that, y'all. The White House outbreak is at least a third wave of the infection to strike White House employees and residents. The first erupted days after the September 26th Rose Garden ceremony honoring Trump's most recent nominee to the U.S. Supreme Court, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, which Fauci called a super spreader event. Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, and their son Barron all tested positive, and Trump was briefly hospitalized. Senior advisor Hope Hicks and White House press secretary, okay, we all know about that. They all had COVID. Okay, so 2 weeks later, at least 5 aides and advisors to the Vice President Pence office tested positive, including Pence Chief of Staff Mark Short. Despite repeat infections, Trump, Meadows, and their allies have continued to flout public health guidelines, holding large indoor gatherings where few people wear masks or follow advice for social distancing. On election night, for instance, Trump hosted an event at the White House billed as a victory party where people mingled together and few wore masks. The contrast is really disheartening between what we're seeing at the White House and what we know to be critical controlling the virus. As a scientist and a parent, and particularly exacerbating the Ben Summers, a doctor who teaches at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Kids are wearing masks for soccer outside and for hours a day in school, and millions of children give up trick-or-treating this year to avoid large crowds. Meanwhile, key White House leaders can't bring themselves to follow those same guidelines, Summers said. It is not clear when or how Meadows became infected, but it often takes several days after the exposure to, for the virus to actually appear and where it can be detected by test. Though Meadows tested positive on Wednesday, his diagnosis did not become widely known until late Friday, when it first was reported by Bloomberg News. So many at the White House, the staffers are angry with Meadows for not disclosing his infection sooner, according to the administration official who confirmed the new infections. The official said top White House officials and cabinet officers who had come in close contact with Meadows in days around the election day had been kept in the dark. So he didn't want it out. Mark Meadows, he wanted to keep everything quiet about him having COVID. And ultimately, he exposed a lot of people at the White House. I think once you know you are infected, you should immediately go into isolation. You shouldn't be anywhere infecting other people. But see, these folks don't have no regard for that. Look at what Hope Hicks did. You knew you had COVID and you still exposed yourself to other people, but when it gets out in the public, now you want to get mad that people know. I think that's really ignorant and very selfish, by the way. But y'all, please tell me what you think about the third wave hitting the White House. They said the White House was the epicenter, and I still believe it is. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. peace, family.